On the 7th of December 1945, I was born here at Upney Hospital, just behind Upney Station on the London Transport District line. It's now called Barking Hospital, but today, nearly 60 years after I was born, there is not very much of it left. My first home was in Cannington Road, about half a mile from Beacon Station. We lived here in this cul-de-sac, which the residents referred to as the Banjo, and our house was here at number 122. It was here that my parents put me in a dress, and I apparently lived in a basket until I was old enough to be left alone in a deck chair, or when my brother used me to practice his ventriloquism act. Around 18 months later, we moved to a bigger house about 2 miles away in Lullington Road. This was the first time I had been back for more than 30 years, and it was a really strange experience to be back here. Everything seemed to be so much smaller than I remembered. But this is where I grew up and lived for more than 20 years, and it brought back many memories. We had many family Christmases here. For this one in 1961, I shot the film and recorded the audio separately, and it took me 43 years to link the two together. Well, with these sounds ringing in my ears, it was time to go and visit my old school. I started school in September 1950 here at Finneymore Road Infant School, a few months before my 5th birthday. My classroom was the one with the open window, and I stayed there for 3 years. I suppose I was a little surprised to see personal computers inside. I still remembered it with posters on the wall about the Festival of Britain in 1951. Well, I'm just walking through the playground to the junior school, where I spent my next 4 years. There certainly wasn't a mural on the wall when I was there, or a school cat. From here I drove back to Cannington Road to have a look at my old secondary school. It was brand new when I was there, and I was among the first batch of students to use it. But it seems to have disappeared now, and has been replaced by a community school. When I was about 13 or 14, I started to learn the trombone. And after about a year, I started to have weekly lessons at the Central School of Dance Music here in Wardour Street in London's West End. I played in many bands and orchestras whenever the opportunity came along, such as here at East Ham Town Hall in 1962, and here at Romford in 1964. I also became interested in making home movies on 8mm movie film. Here is my mother using my first movie camera, and here is what she was shooting. But the technology at that time was not generally available to include a soundtrack, so the films were almost always silent. Here's one of the early efforts. Staying on into the 6th form at school was not an option that was available to me. But with my background in music, sound recording and home movies, my goal when I left school was to work in the sound recording industry. But these jobs were very hard to find. But in spring 1964, I was fortunate enough to be offered a job as a sound trainee at Associated Television Limited. Next to being a musician, this had to be my dream job. I was working in the industry I had chosen. I was working alongside the great Jack Parnell Orchestra, and I was working on some of the most popular television shows in the country.
Get away! Get away! Okay, boy. What's the matter with you? It's overdoing it. What's the matter with you?
Sir.
Yes.
What is the purpose of your visit?
Peace and goodwill.
Fun? I say take his sock off. That's not his sock. But what the devil is it then? That's dirt.
Is he only coming in to see me? Well, it looks as though he's gone away. I wonder why. Don't you worry about it. Funny, he's been a bit cagey lately. I wonder what's up.
You are not here to imagine any more problems. You're here to rest. Now lie back.
Right.
But somehow, after a few months, I realised that I didn't fit into the television industry after all. I felt that it was time for a complete change of direction. But that will have to be the subject of another video.